There is a strange moment that happens to a lot of people right after they buy a Tesla. They run the numbers, they compare the options, they feel good about the decision, and then, almost on cue, the ground shifts underneath them. Two new battery technologies quietly step onto the stage, and suddenly the math that felt so solid a few months ago starts to look shaky. Nobody sends a warning letter. There is no announcement at the dealership. The value of that car simply begins to move in a direction the owner never planned for, and most of them will not see it coming until it is already happening. The two names at the center of this shift are sodium-ion and aluminum-ion, and neither one sounds particularly threatening at first. They sound like something buried deep in a chemistry textbook, the kind of words that make eyes glaze over. Yet, these two quiet chemistries are the reason a Tesla bought today could be worth noticeably less than its owner expects, and far sooner than the usual timeline suggests. The interesting part is not that they exist. The interesting part is how close they already are, and how directly they aim at the one thing Tesla has leaned on for years. Sodium-ion is the one that has already arrived, and that is what makes it impossible to ignore. It is sitting in passenger cars right now, in 2026, not in some distant prototype lab tucked away for the future. It costs less to build than lithium, which is the metal packed inside nearly every Tesla on the road today. And here is the detail that turns heads. The very company that supplies Tesla's own batteries is the one placing a serious bet on sodium. When the supplier starts hedging against the chemistry it sells you, that is worth paying attention to. Aluminum-ion is the second name, and it plays a completely different game. This one is not about being cheap or already on the market. It is about raw speed, the kind of number that stops a conversation cold. In April of 2026, an aluminum-ion cell charged from completely empty to completely full in 6 minutes. Not a partial charge, not a careful lab trick stretched over an afternoon. 6 minutes, empty to full, on a technology that a few years ago barely worked at all. That single figure rewrites what people expect a battery to be able to do. Put those two forces side by side, and a picture starts to form. One that most Tesla owners have never been shown. One chemistry attacks the price, the other attacks the perception. Together they press on the exact advantages that made Tesla the obvious choice for the better part of a decade. The battery edge and the charging edge that everyone assumed were untouchable. What follows is a closer look at each of them, starting with the boring one that is already quietly reshaping the used car market while almost nobody is watching. To understand why sodium matters, it helps to look closely at what lithium actually is, because most people have never thought about the metal humming away inside their car. Lithium is expensive, and it is expensive for reasons that have nothing to do with the car itself. The world's supply is concentrated in a handful of places, and the processing that turns raw material into battery-grade metal runs heavily through supply chains tied to China. That concentration means the price does not sit still. It rises and falls depending on what is happening politically across the globe at any given moment, far outside the control of any driver or automaker. This is the quiet vulnerability sitting underneath the entire electric vehicle industry. A car company can build the best vehicle in the world, but if the metal at the heart of its battery swings wildly in price, every plan built on top of it wobbles too. When trade tensions flare, when a shipping route gets complicated, when a single country decides to change its export rules, the cost of building an electric car moves with it. For years, this was simply accepted as the price of entry, an unavoidable fact of life that everyone in the industry learned to live with and rarely questioned out loud. Sodium turns that whole problem on its head, and the reason is almost comically simple. Sodium is table salt. It is the same substance sitting in a shaker next to the stove, one of the most common materials on the entire planet. It is everywhere. It is cheap. and it does not care in the slightest about trade policy or geopolitics. No single country can corner the market on salt. There is no fragile supply chain to protect, no processing bottleneck that a rival nation can squeeze. For engineers who spent years worrying about lithium, that stability is not a small thing. For a long time, though, there was one enormous catch. Cheap and abundant means nothing if the battery cannot actually perform in the real world, inside a real car, on a real road. So the question that battery engineers kept circling back to was blunt. Can sodium be pushed to behave like a genuine automotive battery, not just a science experiment? And the answer, as of right now, has finally flipped to yes. That shift from theory to reality is what moved sodium out of the laboratory and into the conversation about what happens to Tesla's value. The company driving this change is one worth knowing by name, because it sits at the very center of Tesla's own supply chain. It is called CATL, and it holds roughly 38% of the global electric vehicle battery market, making it the single largest battery manufacturer on Earth. It supplies the Tesla factory in Shanghai directly, and at its own tech day in April of 2026, its chief scientist stood up and said something remarkable. Lithium iron phosphate, the chemistry inside a great many affordable electric cars, is nearing its theoretical energy density limit. The person saying the technology is running out of room is the one who builds it. That admission from CATL's chief scientist was not just an observation thrown out for effect. It came paired with a plan already in motion, because a company does not announce that its current chemistry is running out of room unless it has something ready to take its place. What CATL had ready was sodium ion, packaged under a brand name of its own, Naxtra. Mass production is confirmed for the end of 2026, which places it not in some hazy future, but within touching distance of the present. When the largest battery maker on the planet commits to a production date, the rest of the industry tends to move with it. The most striking part is that the first car built on this chemistry has already been shown to the world. Working alongside Changan Automobile, CATL unveiled the first mass-produced sodium-ion passenger car in February of 2026, and it is heading toward buyers rather than sitting behind glass at an exhibition. The range figures are the detail that closes the argument. These vehicles are targeting up to 600 kilometers on a charge once the supply chain fully matures, which lands right around 370 miles. That number is not a compromise. It sits comfortably alongside what Tesla is selling to customers today. Range alone, though, is not the reason sodium is worth watching. The real weight comes from three practical advantages, and the first is one that anyone who lives through a genuine winter already understands in their bones. Lithium batteries struggle badly in the cold, which is why a Tesla can quietly surrender 20 to 25% of its range on a freezing January morning. That loss is not a defect in the car. It is a limitation of the chemistry itself. Sodium handles temperature extremes, both bitter cold and blistering heat, far more gracefully, and across most of North America, that difference is felt several months a year. The second advantage lands in the one area where battery makers cannot afford to be casual, and that is safety. Sodium ion carries a lower fire risk than the lithium chemistries it competes against, and this is not a claim resting on a marketing slide. Naxtra became the first battery to pass China's new electric vehicle safety standard, a tougher benchmark that takes effect on the 1st of July, 2026. Passing a standard before it is even legally required is the kind of detail that signals real confidence rather than hopeful projection, and it gives automakers one less reason to hesitate. The third advantage is the one that reaches straight into the used car market, and it is cost. When sodium reaches genuine scale, and scale is arriving now rather than later, the cars built around it become cheaper to manufacture. Cheaper to build means cheaper to buy. And cheaper to buy means a wave of new competitors arriving at price points that simply did not exist before. CATL's own founder has said he believes sodium could eventually replace as much as half of the lithium iron phosphate market. The man who built the company supplying Tesla's batteries sees sodium taking a serious bite out of lithium. Now the story turns toward the second chemistry, and honesty demands a clear line be drawn before a single number is mentioned. No automaker, not Tesla, not any major manufacturer anywhere, has confirmed that aluminum-ion batteries are going into a production vehicle. Anyone claiming otherwise is guessing, filling in blanks that have not actually been filled. That distinction matters, because the excitement around this technology can easily run ahead of the facts. What deserves attention is not a promise about future cars, but what genuinely happened in a laboratory in April of 2026, and that part is very real. The work is coming out of Australia from a company called Graphene Manufacturing Group, based in Brisbane. They are developing a graphene aluminum-ion battery, and they are not doing it alone. The University of Queensland is involved, and so is Rio Tinto, one of the largest mining companies in the world. That pairing of an academic institution with a mining giant is telling, because it means the research is being taken seriously by people who understand both the science and the raw materials at an industrial scale. This is not a lone inventor tinkering in a garage. It is a coordinated effort with heavy backing. There is one name on that company's board that changes how the whole project should be read. It belongs to Bob Gallion, the former Chief Technology Officer of CATL, the very same battery giant sitting at the center of everything discussed so far. The person who helped build the largest battery company on the planet has now turned his attention to aluminum-ion. When someone with that background walks away from the reigning chemistry to chase a new one, it is not a casual career move. It is a signal about where the person thinks the next real breakthrough is going to come from. The numbers behind that signal are what make people sit up. In December of 2025, the cells were managing 26 watt-hours per kilogram, a modest figure by any measure. By April of 2026, just 4 months later, that number had climbed to 49 watt-hours per kilogram. The energy density had essentially doubled in the span of a single season, and progress that steep is rare in the battery world. When the cells were charged more slowly, over the course of an hour, they reached 101 watt-hours per kilogram, showing there was still meaningful headroom left to climb. Then comes the figure that stops the conversation entirely. When those cells were charged at their target fast charge rate, they went from empty to full in 6 minutes. It is worth sitting with that number rather than nodding past it, because 6 minutes is barely anything at all. It is shorter than the wait to fill a gas tank at a busy station on a Friday afternoon. Bob Gallion himself pointed out that charging that fast fundamentally changes how engineers think about designing a car, because the entire logic of building enormous battery packs starts to fall apart when refueling takes almost no time. That idea deserves unpacking, because it points to something deeper than a faster charge. Right now, electric vehicles carry large, heavy battery packs, partly to compensate for slow charging times. If a driver has to wait a long while to refuel, the car needs to hold enough energy to make those stops rare. But if charging takes only 6 minutes, that entire assumption collapses. Engineers no longer need to design around a 100 kilowatt-hour pack. They can build for rapid turnover instead, which means a battery that is smaller, lighter, and cheaper, reshaping the car from the inside out. The advantages do not stop at speed and size, though. This battery is built using aluminum foil on both electrodes, which means it uses no lithium and no copper at all. That single design choice sidesteps the entire supply chain problem that has haunted the industry for years. Aluminum is the most abundant metal in the Earth's crust, and there is plenty of it inside the United States. There is no fragile route running through a single country, no geopolitical pressure point waiting to be squeezed. In a year where trade policy is shifting constantly, that independence is a genuine selling point. It is easy to see why that matters far beyond the individual buyer. Any automaker trying to build a supply chain that does not lean on one country suddenly has a reason to look hard at aluminum. A battery made from a material found in the ground almost everywhere is a battery insulated from the political storms that rattle lithium prices. That kind of stability is exactly what large manufacturers crave when they plan a decade ahead. And it explains why serious money and serious people are lining up behind a chemistry that barely functioned a few years ago. The honest part, though, cannot be skipped, because getting excited without context leads people astray. This technology currently sits at what engineers call Battery Technology Readiness Level 4. In plain terms, that means it works in the lab, and the team is preparing to test it with actual customers. It is a real milestone, but it is still a long way from a car in a showroom. The roadmap calls for customer testing during 2026, followed by small commercial production in 2027, and every experienced person knows those dates can slip. Timelines in battery development have a habit of stretching, because there are walls that do not appear until a technology is pushed into full production. A cell that behaves beautifully in a controlled lab can hit unexpected trouble when it has to survive years of real driving, real weather, and real abuse. Nobody should promise a 6-minute charge sitting in a driveway next year. The realistic arrival might be 2028 or later. Yet even a delayed arrival still matters, because the mere existence of that number begins to shape how people judge every battery around it. To see how all of this reaches the car sitting in a driveway, it helps to start with hard numbers rather than theory. A Model 3 bought new for around $47,000 back in 2022 is worth somewhere between the mid-teens and the mid-20,000s today, depending on its condition and mileage. That is roughly 40 to 55% of its value gone in just 4 years. Part of that came from Tesla cutting prices on new cars, and part came from the federal electric vehicle tax credit disappearing at the end of 2025. But part of it is simply the market realizing that battery technology refuses to stand still, and pricing that reality in. Sodium-ion pushes directly on that already soft number, and it does so in a way that is easy to trace. As CATL's sodium-ion cars begin shipping in real volume through 2026, buyers gain access to vehicles that are cheaper to build, better in the cold, and safer on paper, arriving at a lower price than a new Tesla. A brand new car at a lower price is unavoidable competition for a used Model 3 sitting around $22,000. That pressure is not a distant worry. It tends to show up in the market roughly 12 to 24 months out, which places it squarely on the horizon. Aluminum ion applies a different kind of pressure, one that works on the mind rather than the price tag. For years, the supercharger network has been one of Tesla's strongest and most legitimate arguments, fast and reliable and widely available. That advantage is real and worth respecting. But the moment 6-minute charging becomes the reference point living in people's heads, even while it is still years away from arriving, waiting 25 minutes at a supercharger starts to feel different. It stops feeling like the future and starts feeling like a workaround. And that shift in perception touches resale value before the technology ever fully lands. For the owner weighing what to do, the practical takeaways come into focus. Anyone thinking about selling or trading in a Tesla should recognize that the window before sodium-ion places serious downward pressure on used prices